Hello, friends. Welcome to this tradition unlike any.
Fight the king!
What a weekend. As we see here, we got Xander Schauffle, Patrick Cantlay, two-man team winners. And honestly, at the Zurich. Look at that trophy.
Badass.
We did a podcast in the very early days of Big Drive Energy that we talked about some of our favorite trophies on the PGA Tour. There's a lot of cool ones. That one may be the best.
That is as New Orleans as it gets. What is that thing called?
Fleur-de-lis.
Oh, okay.
Look at that. We didn't even need Yaya. Fucking, I am on fire right now.
I had no idea what that was called. Coming out hot.
Coming out.
Spencer never knows any of this random
So
shit.
I'm not. So you can count on me for absolutely zero the rest of the fucking
you're
show.
spent for the day.
So today we're going to get into the Zurich Classic. There's a few hot takes from people on golf Twitter about the Zurich Classic. We'll touch on those. We've got some beautiful NIL deals being signed by college golfers, which is not very common because I was doing a little research and found out that of all the money spent in NIL deals in the last year since the NCAA's agreed to this scenario for their golfers, only 0.1% of it is made up by men's and women's golf. 0.1.
What is football, like 94?
I didn't go that far.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean...
Don't fucking quiz me on shit I don't know.
I mean, football does fund 95% of all collegiate sports, pretty much, so...
Yeah, they own the market in everything.
For sure, but there is some really badass NIL deals that have been signed, including from J.R. Smith, for those of you who haven't heard. So we'll talk about his NIL deal, and then we kind of started thinking, what if we sign NIL deals? Like, what would be our top three?
What if two broke-ass golf pros that do a weekly podcast signed an NIL deal? What would that look like?
Dollar Tree would be after me. Like
Five Below. That's
Grease Monkey. Just places like that. But we'll talk about our actual dream NIL deals, and we'll talk about what that includes, like what you want out of it, because there's clearly a reason behind our thoughts here.
Absolutely. So, of course, if you're new, welcome to the show. This is Big Drive Energy. We're going to be going live every Tuesday from the DNVR bar for the foreseeable future. And we'll hope you join us on the live show. Listen to our podcast. Check out our TikTok at Big Drive Energy on all those. Our Instagram at Big Drive Energy Pod. Kind of still sulking after our hole-in-one challenge last week. It was a blast, but we didn't make one. And then some
random dude rolled into Spring Valley today. He's like, this guy made a hole-in-one on 13.
We literally took 700 goddamn shots last week with three good golfers.
This dude was probably like a 25, 30 handicap. No, and I guess that's just a shot in the dark, but he didn't. I guess maybe don't judge a book by its cover, but he did not look like a golfer by any means.
And he cans one.
Yeah.
We grinded our asses off. I got blisters on my hands.
Yeah, my hand, my left forearm, like I started developing tennis elbow, which I've never had before. Like I've had.
Is that not, you've never had that in your right arm?
No, just the left, just the lead arm on that day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never felt that before. Okay. My elbow, I haven't had an elbow hurt since baseball, like since I pitched in Little League. Because I was throwing way too many curveballs at way too young of an age. I did have a pretty nasty, 12-6er, though.
You did. And I will say, so we used to be diehard baseball, right? And that's how we got into golf. Like, our mom got us into golf, but we based our swings off of baseball swings, which was what we had. And self-taught, by the way, both of us.
Yep.
We didn't have, our mom
Secret
from
in the
Valor
dirt.
Paying for lessons for us every day. Like, we just showed up and grinded. Mitchell was the most golf-obsessed person I've ever seen, and now he talks shit about those people, which is hilarious.
But I'm actually good now. Like, there's people that are just obsessed that aren't. And I'm not golf shaming.
Yeah, I was going to say we're handicap shaming.
No. I wouldn't do
fun.
that, but there's people that, care more about golf, but they would just rather talk about it than be about it.
Oh,
I was about it.
You were fucking.
I was about it. Now
You
I'm not
wanted
about
all
it.
the smoke.
I practiced
As
a lot.
16-year-old, you wanted all that smoke.
I talk to way more shit than I do now. Like,
Is that possible?
Yeah. I don't talk that much shit anymore.
Yeah, it's a fucking lie.
No, it's not.
There's a bunch of people in the studio here, and they all
I talk
said
a
fucking
fair
bullshit.
amount of shit, but
You don't stop talking shit. You don't stop running your mouth.
if I'm like a trash can, you step on my foot and I just fucking open up.
Oh, there
Just
you go. I
start
like
talking
that.
my ass off.
That was a
so.
great fucking. That was a great. What's that called?
I don't know.
Metaphor. Thank you.
Thank you.
We got RK in the back, so that's.
But yeah, I talked a lot of shit when I was younger. How did we even get here? Where were
we
we?
were talking about
Hole-in-one
baseball.
challenge.
The hole in
We were
one
talking about
challenge.
hole-in-one challenge and then baseball.
There we
and
go.
And then it got to your tennis elbow and only your left arm.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, not your right arm.
Well, I think it was hitting off the turf also. Because I used to, like, when I used to practice a lot in the wintertime, you'd be hitting off turf. And that lead elbow, like, constantly, especially with my angle of attack just being fucking, like, 8 degrees down, I'm just digging into that turf. And I had never had left elbow problems before our hole-in-one challenge. So I think that had to have been it. And also, I hadn't played golf since Arizona, which was
February. So
I
we were-
played golf in South Carolina and Arizona in February, and up until the hole-in-one challenge, I don't know if I picked up a club.
Yeah, that's just the life we live being in Colorado. You know, it's what happens. But I will say that golf tip for you guys: we always got to give one unsolicited golf tip per podcast and video.
I feel like if they're listening, it's solicited. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, but we do want to give
It's their choice to listen. It's our choice to give them a tip.
exactly. And the tip is if you can practice anywhere that doesn't like. Obviously, in Colorado, you can only do so much in the wintertime, practicing-wise. But like Mitchell was just talking about with the turf,
Whenever
if
you can hit off grass,
hit off grass at all costs. Like
Yeah.
it will make you such a better golfer because there's so many times like Top Golf and stuff like that where you're like, oh, I hit everything. I never hit a shot fat, and then you go out on the course and you hit everything fat. Well, newsflash for those of you that don't know, the turf significantly helps you get the ball up in the air.
Oh, yeah. You can bounce into one, and you can, if you're new to golf, you'll feel like, oh, that felt a little different. Like it didn't feel pure, still went in the air.
Yeah, it's
you
turf-
get on real grass,
turf
you
is
hit
like-
3 inches behind it. You hit it about 20 yards.
Hitting on golf turf is like golf Viagra.
Yeah.
It's like gets it straight up.
Or like booze. Like
Booze just sends it straight down.
Well, it's like beer goggles. Like it makes everything look a little better.
Okay.
That's what I was
All
getting
right.
at. Like,
I was not following there, but now I'm
okay,
following.
yeah. Now you're picking up what I'm putting
So
down.
golf turf, Viagra, straight up in the air. No real work done there. But yeah,
It's like a popsicle stick and some tape.
practice on grass as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into the Zurich Classic a little bit.
So, of course, if you're looking at, I tweeted out, as you guys know, every Sunday. Make sure you're following our Twitter. We tweet out, a little vote. It's just fun. It's kind of like,
Predictions.
hey, it's like a Sunday. Pick who's going to win this tournament. For like a couple weeks there, our buddy Seth, who is just on the Scotty Scheffler high, picked him twice when he wasn't even in. So we take the top 3 golfers as of Sunday morning, or 3 teams, as you will, this week, and we put out a little Twitter poll and then put out a 4th, which is just the field, because a lot of the times those guys come from a couple shots back and aren't in the lead. And this week it was just kind of lame. I will
But
admit.
no, I mean, it ended up being close. Because we had one dude tweet us that was like, no way these guys lose.
Yeah, he basically said, look at the world rankings, which I don't necessarily disagree with, because those are 2 guys that are just battle tested. Nobody's won. I think Patrick Cantlay, as crazy as we are in this Scotty Scheffler fucking toilet bowl just swirling around of he does it again,
Yeah,
he wins,
yeah.
he does it again.
Has Scheffler won more in the last 12 months?
Cantlay has won more in the last year than Scheffler has.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
dude, Cantlay, yeah. I mean, he kind of had that low spot, and that's the tough thing with a lot of the PGA Tour schedule is the better guys don't really care in the fall, and it takes them a little bit to get going. Like, they're not, and I'm not making excuses for them, but a lot of the best players are peaking like when the Masters start. That's when they want to be good. So you don't hear, and it just depends. Like Cam Smith had a crazy good beginning of the year. He had already won twice before the Masters. But guys like Patrick Cantlay they're looking at the long game. They're looking at July and August. They're not focused on March, April, or February, March. I mean, April, then you get into the majors, things like that. But yeah, Cantlay is definitely top 3 player in the world right now. And we're going to get into a little Schauffle comparison that got thrown out on Twitter. But I do want to bring up a topic that how much, we saw a lot of names on this leaderboard that are virtual no-name PGA Tour guys. You know what I mean? So, how much of that impact, how much do you think playing with a buddy impacts how well you play? Because I think there's certain guys that gel better together than others. You know what I mean? Like Doc Redman and Sam Ryder. They finished inside of the top 10, I want to say, or let me double check that.
Well, I can touch on what you're saying because me and you, obviously brothers, we from the same.
They finished third.
We have the same DNA essentially. We don't always get along on the golf course, but I think one of the biggest factors into a tournament like the Zurich Classic is how well do your games fit together.
Yeah.
Because if you have, so for instance, quote unquote, this is just me. This is not me tooting my horn. This is me just being me. But I'm what you would call a relative, I'm a poor man's bomber. I'm not a
you hit
not
it a
a
long
PGA
way.
Tour bomber.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out there and hit it with those guys. But
you have a very high ceiling in general. Some shots you're capable of hitting. There are shots I'm not capable of hitting. But on this flip side of that, I am probably going to end up with a better result 6 or maybe 7 times out of 10. But those 3 or 4 shots you have are going to be much better than mine.
Right.
So
and
it's the mixing and matching of styles.
Yeah, and so if Mitchell and I are in a scramble, which there wasn't a scramble this weekend, it was an alternate shot and then a foursome at best ball, which you take the best score of each player. So first of all, when you have the best ball days, you have to have 2 players that you can have one player that's maybe make a lot of birdies but make a few bogeys, and then you got to have a more steady guy that just makes a lot of pars. Those are how 2 styles can kind of meld together. I mean, granted, we're talking on a more amateur level here.
For sure.
These guys are not making a ton of bogeys no matter what, but I mean...
Different styles of golf, but then again, you also are playing alternate shot in the Zurich, so you do need to have somewhat of a comfortability factor with distances into greens, short game shots where you're left if you miss a green, things like that. So there's definitely got to be a contrast, in your games. But then there's also, you have to be on a comfortability level where you can tell a guy, okay, don't leave me here. I hate this shot, or leave me here. I like this.
And that's a perfect example of you and I. Is if we were playing an alternate shot together, I love if I'm teeing off on. At the Valley of Fun or somewhere, I love to hit it as far as I can, even if I have a little flip wedge or in the rough, which is fine with me, or a little pitch shot under a tree. I'm more comfortable with that than I am 110 out in the fairway. Whereas you,
I love 110 out in the fairway.
It's a total reversal where you feel like you're going to hit that shot a lot closer. So,
but the only challenge is hypothetically, if I want you to hit 5-iron off the tee, you're probably not going to hit it as well because you've never hit that club on that tee. You know what I mean? So I think there's some preparation there for sure, you being prepared for that because, yeah, you and I totally different. We're definitely different scramble players, but that's what makes us work together. But I'm not shitting you. I've gone out to play some charity scrambles and guys look at me and they're I thought you were supposed to be good. Or I mean, I look
Is this after your 4 cocktails or before?
No, they equate it to hitting it long. And for reference, the last charity event I played in was at the Sanctuary. I was playing with 4 dudes or 3 other dudes that couldn't break 90. And we played, what is the format? You all tee off, you take the best tee shot, and you all play your own ball in.
It's a
Modified Chapman?
No, modified Chapman is when you tee off and switch balls.
It's a modified
shamble.
A shamble. Okay, a shamble. So we shot 63. I made my ball was 7 birdies, and we took all but 2 of my tee shots. So I played my ass off. Yeah, at the Sanctuary of all places. That's a complete fucking Mickey Mouse gong show. Very cool course. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I played really well. So just that for reference in the charity event realm. But there has been a few where guys look at me, they're I thought you hit it like super long. I'm like, not every really good golfer hits it super long. Like, even Eric Hallberg said he was talking to Spencer Levine back in the day. Do you remember that name, Spencer Levine?
Oh, yeah.
Of
course, how could I forget?
Well, yeah.
That's my boy.
Dude was a legend, by the way. He like ripped cigs on the course all the time. Didn't have a cell phone. I think he didn't even have like an email address. Like, nobody could get a hold of him if he didn't want to be gotten a hold of. He just was like a complete off the what is that?
Grid.
Yeah, thank you, off the grid. But anyways, Eric said he was talking to Spencer Levine, and I mean, Levine was on tour for 5+ years, and he said if the PGA Tour wasn't firm week in, week out, I wouldn't be on tour, because he hit it that short. Like, he needed that 30 or 40 yards of roll on his tee shots. If it was all carry, he was probably carrying at 250 at sea level, which is about what I hit it relatively. I mean, if I catch one good, maybe 260, but that's kind of how far I hit it. And a lot of people expect more from like a better player. So maybe but then you get me around the greens and I'm pretty good.
And then you're showing your worth.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and my wedges, things like that. But we digress. I just wanted to bring up the fact that, like, we had a few teams. So tell me if you've ever heard
Sam Burns, Billy Horschel. Well, and what's interesting about looking at this, like, Xander Schauffle and Patrick Cantlay absolutely slaughtered the best ball days.
Oh, yeah.
They shot 59 and 60.
Yeah.
Like, their alternate shot days, even par Sunday, which you're kind of coasting at that point. You're just trying to not make a
But they only
mistake.
won by 2.
And they shot 68 on Friday. Whereas guys like Doc Redman, Sam Ryder, who the fuck is that?
See, that's
67 on the alternate shot days. So their games must have just really, like, or like you said, they're like, I play so much better when I'm playing with dudes that I like.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you're just with one of your, hopefully you actually like the guy that you're playing with, who is paired up with Bubba. Harold Varner III's out there doing God's work, paired with Bubba Watson for 4 rounds. And they actually ended up T4. But Harold Varner's getting into heaven for being Bubba Watson's teammate for 4 days.
Well, I think how it works is, and I could be kind of wrong on this, but it was basically like there was only so many exemptions for this tournament, and then the guy that's ranked higher in the world rankings got to like choose his partner, or like ask that person,
like kind of a member guest, like an invite thing.
Exactly. And so
there is a few of those. Like when you look at like
Ryan Palmer, Scotty Scheffler is a perfect example.
Jason Day, Jay Scrivener. I've seen Scrivener on maybe on a leaderboard or two, but that's definitely not a household name. He's playing with Jason Day.
And they were like close to leading.
But
like,
then also Justin
Friday.
Lauer, Dylan Wu. You ever heard of either of them?
No.
They finished 10th. David Lipsky, A. Ray.
So Aaron Rye. That's the guy that was leading 2 gloves, black gloves.
Oh, with the head cut, with the iron head covers.
The iron head covers, yeah, Aaron Rye.
The woe.
Easily the most forgettable player on tour, or non-forgettable.
Well, and then T4 also Matt Neesmith and Taylor Moore, I'm going to guess. Tyler. I mean, I'm not looking great here, but.
And Garrick Higo and Brandon Grace were there, both from South Africa, probably pretty good buddies. I will say.
Oh, well, let's talk about Kevin Kisner, Scott Brown. They made an 8 on a par 3.
Yeah.
And that's how quickly alternate shot can get away from you. Like, holy shit, alternate shot is so scary. We have a 27-hole tournament every year at Spring Valley, and it's called the Triple Threat. So you go out in the morning, you play 9 holes best ball, 9 holes scramble, and it's 2. I mentioned it was 2-person.
Yeah.
Then you go in, have lunch, and everybody's kind of getting sauced. But what separates the men from the boys is the last 9, which is alternate shot. And there was a year where I was playing with one of my buddies, and he was struggling, but I was playing really good. I think I was like 18 at the time. And our 18 on the best ball and the scramble, we shot like 63. And it felt like it was basically by myself. But I was just out there having a good time, played well. We shot 29 on the scramble. I remember that because I think we took like one or 2 his shots, and I just fucking got it around that day. Anywho, but then alternate shot came. He put me in some spots. Like I think we shot 42 on the alternate shot, so he still won the tournament, but 6 over compared to 9 under. for 18 versus 9 holes, like that's a huge discrepancy. So that just like, I don't know if anybody really understands how hard alternate shot is, but it can definitely separate even like the top tier tour guys. You know, that can really be a difference because you got to keep the ball in play. You really have to have ultimate control over your golf ball to put your partner in positions he's comfortable with, because at the end of the day, you don't want to say sorry, it's not your fault, but whenever you hit a shot and you have to deal with the repercussions, you only have yourself to blame, which is fine. You know, everybody's beat themselves up over a golf shot. But when somebody else is relying on you to hit this golf shot and their bank account is dependent on it, things like that, it brings a totally different element into play. So I think they did a good job of weathering the storm at the end of the day, but I mean they didn't play that well on Sunday, and Horschel and Burns almost came back and beat them. Luckily they were 5 shots up going into Sunday, so they had quite a bit of cushion there, but still another win for Xander Schauffle. I mean, Cantley's been winning, but so now Schauffele's won the Olympics, which is technically not a PGA Tour event, and then he won. What else did he win? Because he just won this week, which is a PGA Tour event, but it's a two-man event, obviously, so it's not an individual PGA Tour win.
Are you saying Xander Schauffle is not a real PGA Tour player?
I'm not, dude. So I started digging into this because is it Dan Rappaport, the golf Twitter guy?
Yeah, Daniel Rappaport.
He tweeted, "Is a Xander Rickie Fowler comparison more embarrassing for Rickie or Xander?"
Wow.
Yeah, which is kind of a shot at both of them. But this is what I wanted to get into, so I did a little bit of career digging because so Rickie is now 33. It feels like he's 40 because he's been around for so long. Like, I felt like 10 years ago, I mean, it probably was 10 years ago, he's 23 when everybody was wearing all the orange. Rickie Fowler was the hot new guy on the scene. He was 21, 22.
Rocking the Puma.
Yeah, all Puma. He was the pioneer of the Puma gear. But now Rickie's 33. He has 5 career wins in 286 starts. What impressed me, though, pretty low-key fact about Rickie Fowler's career, how many top 10s do you think he has?
25?
74.
Jesus Christ.
In 286 events, that's basically a top 10 every 4 events he's played in.
Dude, so he must have been on some sort of a fucking run.
Well, so technically 74 times 4 is 296. So yeah, I mean, less than every 4 tournaments he was top 10ing. One of them. So that's pretty impressive. That a lot of people don't mention. But here's another guess for you. What do you think Rickie Fowler's total career money is at?
127 million.
One on the golf course?
Oh, okay.
Spencer's doesn't have any logical idea of what's going on here. So
let's go 45 million. 45 million.
$40.7 million. So he's got 286 career events, 74 top 10s, 5 wins. So he's 33. The majority of this came actually when he did the majority of his winning in 2016. So 6 years ago, he was 27, 28. So now Xander's 28. Xander also with 5 career PGA Tour victories.
Yep. I'm looking at him now. He's got a win. This is back to 18-19. He's got a win at the WGC, the HSBC Champions. So that's a late fall event.
Okay.
He's got a Century Tournament and Champions victory, which is ironic.
Limited field.
Limited field, and he played in that. And then like all his other wins are, well, the wins that are obviously the Zurich Classic now in a 2-man event, the Olympics. He's won a President's Cup. He's won a Ryder Cup.
The Olympics. Like, did you just mention that?
Yeah, I just said that.
Perfect.
You weren't listening to me again.
Well, anywho, so he's kind of being called like the best player to really not get over that hump. And I mean, it's been fairly well documented, especially last year. It felt like he was on the doorstep at a lot of leaderboards and never finished. So, but Xander So Xander's at 5 career wins. Right now he's 28. In 129 starts, he has 34 top 10s. So they're virtually on the exact same pace. I think Rickie's last win was 2016 or maybe 2018. I think he may have won the Players in 18 or 19. But other than that, so maybe Xander's a little bit ahead of Rickie.
Well, when you look at
he also has $25 million in career money and he's 28. So that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, and you look at a year so going back to Xander's 2020 to 2021. So U.S. Open was played way later in 2020 because of COVID. He's 5th. CJ Cup at Shadow Creek, which it's the CJ Cup, but he gets 2nd. Tournament of Champions, he's a T5. Farmers Insurance Open, T2. Waste Management
That
Open,
was this
T2.
year?
21.
Oh,
We're in
okay.
22, brother.
This is Rickie?
This is Xander.
Oh, Xander.
But that's why I'm
sorry.
saying this is fairly disrespectful to Xander when people don't think it is.
But
Wait, I'm not done. Masters.
I wish you were done.
Masters T3, U.S. Open T7, won the gold medal, and then T5 in the Tour Championship.
Which he actually didn't he win technically the money, or I think he won. One year he won the actual tournament, the Tour Championship. He didn't win the FedEx Cup, but he won the Tour Championship.
I don't think, is that possible?
You can. It used to be where it was two separate things.
Oh,
Where
okay.
you didn't have to necessarily win the Tournament of Champions to win the FedEx Cup. Whatever. Anywho, so you're saying all these top 5 finishes.
Yeah, he's got top 5s and top 2s.
Let me remind
falling out
you,
his
when I was
ass.
looking at Rickie Fowler today, he has a 2nd place in every major. He's finished 2nd at the Masters, 2nd U.S. Open, 2nd British, 2nd at the PGA.
So he's that close to climax and then just gets shut down.
Yeah, so he's the blue champion. Like he just can't finish. Like he's both of them have been right there and just can't do it. So I don't really know what that means for them. It feels like Schauffle is a little less. I would say the biggest difference for me between Schauffle and Fowler is Fowler, by the time he was 27, 28, he was in a million State Farm commercials. He was like the golf playboy. Like he was postered all over the place.
And he's still, dude.
He still is.
He can shoot 80 in a tournament 2 days in a row, miss the cut, and everybody wants to watch him play.
Yeah, he doesn't really care at this point. He's probably making so much money off of all his endorsements that the PGA Tour is kind of taking a back seat. And like with any other sport, you kind of like, I wouldn't question the passion, but there's some guys who like golf is their life. Like they live to play. They grind years and years trying to get out there. They stay out there, whatever. Rickie feels to me like one of the guys that's okay with where he's at. Like, I mean, he's married to an Olympic runner. No problem there. I think they're going to, is she pregnant?
I think so, yeah. They're expecting.
Which is very cool. By the way, Max Homa is expecting a child, which is very cool also.
I wonder if his Twitter will be as good as his dad's.
Probably not.
Not right off the bat.
Yeah, but anywho, yeah.
You think Max Homa's already started his son a Twitter account?
Like a burner. It could be like his burner, but also his son's Twitter.
But have you ever thought about that? Like, our kids aren't going to have emails to choose from.
No,
like,
they
you
will.
should start that shit early.
You think it's like a college fund? Like you should make them like an Apple ID?
Yeah, make them like an Apple ID, a Twitter, Facebook is whatever. But
I think that
definitely
seems a little irrational. That's
Hey.
how much you think about social media.
that could be the issue.
That could be your issue there. But yeah, what do you honestly, Rickie, Xander, where do you? And it's tough because they are 5 years separate in age.
Right.
But Rickie, 28 years old. Xander, 28 years old. Who you got?
I think it's a little bit of recency bias, which I can't help, but it's still Xander to me.
I agree.
Like he's won too many. We just talked about he hasn't won a ton, but like I don't know. I consider the Olympics, like, granted it wasn't the greatest field, but like had to fly over to China, play in that tournament.
That
like
takes a lot.
Yeah, like it's not like
it's
an easy
a
feat.
mental grind.
Exactly,
For sure.
and I just think
which is also makes it even more surprising that he hasn't finished on the PGA Tour. Like it feels like it would be harder to win at the Olympics representing your country than it would be to win, just any other PGA Tour event.
Yeah, and especially considering there was guys there like Sanjay M, who I wanted to win the Olympics just because I love the dude. But like,
Did you bet on him?
Yeah, I did, 100%.
Yeah, let's be real. That's why you wanted him to win.
It was his home course, and
was it his home course?
Well, it was a course that he was very familiar with.
I was
going
gonna
to
say.
Okay, he lives in America now, but I did bet on him, and I bet on him with DraftKings Sportsbook, the only one that we used to bet, our favorite sportsbook. And the NBA playoffs, we know, are into full swing right now. It's super fun, super high-level basketball. The Nuggets are about to come back from a 3-0 series deficit and beat the Golden State Warriors against all odds. The Toronto Raptors are also going to create the largest collapse of Doc Rivers' career, which we always thought was a 3-1 series loss.
There's always next year.
For Doc, you literally cannot collapse more than this.
Yeah.
But you can bet on all the NBA playoffs with the DraftKings Sportsbook, which is an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All new customers, all you have to do is bet $5 and you get $150 in free bets instantly. You win no matter what. All DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet live and bet same-game parlays, which I do just about every MLB game and NBA game. Like if I'm watching the game, I want to get like 6 or 7 bets out there, get a parlay going. So you can do that. And you can place a same-game parlay with 3 or more legs and get up to $25 back if one leg doesn't win. So you hit a 2 out of 3 game parlay, and you're getting $25 in free bet
It always
back.
feels like it's just one leg.
Just one leg
You
away.
just don't know which leg it's going to be.
And with DraftKings, if you're one leg away, you are getting a free bet. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code DNVR and bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the first round of the playoffs, and you get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code DNVR, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. New customers only, minimum $5 deposit. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. One last funny note about the Zurich Classic before we get into some great NIL deals currently going on in the golf world and our favorite NIL deals. So me, Dre, and RK were talking about the Zurich Classic today because we are, and this is the first official announcement of it, are having a golf tournament. And we're having a golf tournament at the Valley of Fun May 20th. So if you're listening to this, head over to thednvr.com and get signed up. But we were talking about the Zurich Classic, and we're talking about, getting sponsors for this event. And we're talking about having like a green jacket level sponsor. So somebody that's going to sponsor the whole thing. Their logo is going to be everywhere.
Sponsor.
Yeah, like basically a title sponsor of some company. And we were talking about the Zurich Classic, and Dre, being, from Italy, he's like very familiar with Europe, goes, that's a horrible example. It's played in Switzerland. So Dre had no idea that Zurich was like a company. He thought it was actually played in Zurich, Switzerland. So shout out to Andre Simone. Fucking hilarious. And just the fact that I mean, I don't blame him, but that's just like in our world, completely out of touch. Love him, but
like you asked me like a soccer question, that's probably something I'm going to answer with. Like I'm going to be so far off.
What's a 9?
What's a 9?
Corner
soccer.
kick? A corner kick.
Nope.
That doesn't mean anything to me. That's a number.
So a 9 is actually the striker.
Each position.
Each position has a number assigned to it.
So kind of like baseball where you go positionally 1 through. Okay. Learn something new every day. Yaya's got a new fact for us. We appreciate that. But yeah, let's move into the NIL deals.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys haven't heard by now, and if you're on golf Twitter or any sort of scenario where you're paying attention to the world of golf and John Daly, or if you just like Hooters, I mean,
restaurant.
I love Hooters because they have great wings.
Yeah, the wings are the bomb.
But so
been going there since I was a wee tyke.
John Daly and Little John Daly, which he doesn't like that, right? He just likes to be called John Daly II. Didn't we go over? I think we went over this in a podcast actually. Little John Daly has signed an NIL deal with Hooters, which is the most on-brand NIL deal I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and
that's like shooting fish in a barrel right there.
Exactly. So the NIL deal terms were not disclosed by Hooters or Little John Daly, but
what do you think that includes?
I don't know if we can talk about what that may
I think
include.
It includes different things for dad and son.
Well, yeah,
wings for the kid
wings for the kiddo, free beers for the pops.
and others. Yeah, who knows? I think he's married for the 5th time, so maybe he's off the. I don't know if he ever cheated. I'm not accusing him of anything. I can just only imagine what he did back in the day. But yeah, I think that's awesome. Like, I mean, there was, for those of you who didn't know, there used to be a mini tour down in Florida called the Hooters Tour. And when I was in high school, I was like, I want to play on the Hooters Tour. Just because it's kind of got like a catchy name. And also, who doesn't want to like play like under the Hooters umbrella?
Yeah. Well, like Hooters has the shittiest casino and hotel in Vegas, and
They have a
just love
hotel
staying
and
there.
casino?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, it's horrible. It's
Just-
right next to the Tropicana.
It's so bad, it's good. It's
Yeah,
one of those. It's
dude,
one of
I
those.
walked in there and swear to God, I just smoked 4 cigarettes, and I hadn't even. And this is granted a couple.
You got a
years
whole
ago.
pack of Marlboro Reds just in your throat?
Dude. It is a dog shit casino and horrible, but like, I feel like just a lot of people love the Hooters vibe, and Hooters is one of those companies that you feel like probably should have gone out of business by now, just because of the world we're moving into.
Yeah.
and the way things,
Canceled.
Yeah,
Just
you
canceled.
feel like Hooters should have gotten canceled, and they haven't. And they're like,
It almost feels like Hooters have stood the test of time.
at this point, they're pretty much like old school. Now they're like
Retro.
They're like rope hats.
Yeah.
they're so old school. They're like coming
back in.
Yeah,
For sure. Where isn't the first, I think the first Hooters is in Clearwater Beach.
that
'cause
wouldn't surprise
Yeah,
me.
I want to say the first ever Hooters is in Clearwater Beach. Yeah.
We got Yaya on the
Let's
on
see
the
if we can
Hooters
go
case.
2 for 2 on
Last
fun
last
facts.
week he was telling us about when Easter was and why.
It's in Clearwater Beach.
Clearwater Beach.
Let's go. I got a big noggin about things of that nature, I guess. But yeah, love the NIL deal for them. Another big one that came out was, I think J.R. Smith is signing the single biggest NIL deal for a college golfer with Lululemon for golf apparel, which is badass.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be, that kind of is where the brainchild of our potential wishful NIL deals came from. But how cool would that be to just get a bunch of free Lulu gear?
Yeah, so I was kind of reading into this, and I don't know if it goes college to college, specifically for J.R. Smith, who, shout out J.R. Smith, the academic athlete of the year at NCA&T.
A&T, yeah, okay.
Agriculture and Technology. I don't know if that's right. We need to fact check that, but
It's wild he was so tariffed to go back to school, and now he's got a 4.0.
if you guys didn't see his tweet today, go follow him. Find the tweet, because he did tweet about being tariffed to go back to college.
He meant terrified. He butchered the spelling, which is just ironic because it was just funny. I'm not poking fun. It was just ironic.
Just
that
the most ironic thing ever that
he
he just got a 4.0 over a semester, was awarded Academic Athlete of the Year at NCA&T, and doesn't know that he's tariffed to spell.
Do you know what tariffed is?
Isn't it like some sort of like boat thing?
It's like a tax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a tax of goods.
Oh, I knew that.
I didn't even
actually.
look that up. Like, I
It's
just
like
have
US
that.
history,
I
8th
just have
grade.
that up here.
That's just floating around up
Yeah.
there. But
I
yeah,
think
so
you got confused with the tariff because that's what they called it when the Boston Tea Party.
see, fucking Yahir, dude. God, we should have been doing this for years. Just having Yahir there to just like keep us on track,
Right.
Which is a really tall task.
Yeah.
But going back to J.R. Smith and Lululemon, so from what I read, college NIL deals, he can't rep, like, so he can probably wear Lululemon pants. That would be probably more dependent on NCA&T and what they require their players to wear.
Yeah.
You know, if they're just like, oh, like our high school team just fucking tossed some black pants on. You know, you got some kids in their dad's Levi's that he's got to tie 2 belts around.
Dude, I think you're thinking like A&T's, some like Hickville.
No.
What?
I'm saying like how strict they are
Yeah,
on
yeah.
like where, you know, like how strict college golf is on. I don't know. I never played college golf, clearly. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm running a golf course.
That's fair.
But I don't know if they're like, hey,
I definitely think there's got to be some wiggle room with pants, maybe even a hat, depending, you know, where they require you to have the logo, not have the logo.
He's not allowed to rep the logo. That's the thing.
Lulu
So
logo.
the Lulu logo he's not allowed to rep that. He's allowed to be in commercials. He's allowed to put them on his social media, but he is not allowed to rep the logo. I would assume like out there, like
In tournaments.
in every tournament that you see where you got, the professional players with like 6 different logos. You got some guys out there looking like the back of a Subaru Forester, with like 7 different logos on it.
The mountains are calling. I must go.
Exactly. Native, Colorado native.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a native. Well, actually, you have to be a native probably to wear that sticker. But if you're a true native, you don't have that sticker.
Exactly.
That may be a hot
If you're
take.
salt of the earth Colorado native, you don't have a Colorado native bumper sticker.
You know better than to put that on your...
Yeah.
Anyways, I have a Colorado bumper sticker on my car with a sick mountains.
Spencer bought a Toyota Tacoma and then put mountains on his bumper. I was like, dude,
it's actually on my back window.
How much? It's on your window.
It matches my car. It's sick. Or truck.
Your truck just screams, I moved here from Chicago 6 months ago. Like,
oh, that's kind of fucked up.
or I mean, it's pretty true. Or LA. Pick one.
That's fair.
Whatever.
But yeah, so he can't rock the logo on like out there.
But he can wear it on campus.
I would assume he can wear. Well, yeah, he can wear it wherever it's not in an official tournament, and I'm assuming he can wear Lulu pants in a tournament as long as they like coincide with what his coach or
J.R. Smith would definitely be a joggers guy on the golf course.
Joggers, Jordans.
That's pretty sick look.
That is.
But it takes a little bit
Justin
to pull
Thomas
off.
caught a lot of hate for that, the jogger look.
Yeah. I mean, I tweeted it out. I was like, this is not...
So you're talking out of both sides of your mouth here?
No.
Or is it only okay for certain people?
It's only okay for certain people. Like, Justin Thomas, his entire career has rocked the classic FootJoy wingtip look. Like, I mean...
Which he did have with the joggers.
Maybe he's just a pioneer. Maybe he's combining old school and new school. But there was this kid, like, and I'm going to be honest about the whole jogger thing. There's this kid that I always saw at tournaments that he played at BYU. And then I always saw him at the state opens and everything. He was probably in his mid-20s at the time, so he's a little bit older than me. And he was just the biggest tool. Like, you could just tell. And this is before joggers were cool. He was, and I still don't think they're that cool, but that's just my thing. But he was that guy that was the only guy on the practice green with joggers, and he just stuck out like a sore thumb. And his personality just so perfectly matched his vibe, like his outfit, everything. He was just such a douche.
Is that a thing where you just look at someone and say, you look like you wear joggers?
Yeah, you're a joggers guy. Like, that's kind of like an indictment on your character, in my opinion. And
I enjoy my joggers.
I know, and you're kind of a douchebag. So, I mean, that's just kind of stuff that we live with. But yeah, there's like, it's kind of an association with something like a name. You kind of like certain names or don't like certain names based on who you know with that name.
Very true.
Kind of like how
every
joggers,
Mitchell I meet, fucking douche.
The worst.
Except for Mitchell Carroll. He's dope.
Yeah.
Merchel. Shout out Merchel. Dopest name also.
Yeah. But
you're just Bitchel.
Yeah, that's me all through high school up until now. But yeah, that's why I associate joggers with just being an asshole. So that's why I don't love joggers on the golf course. But J.R. Smith, like, he's the most athletic golfer there is. Let's be real.
Yeah, only $90 million in total NBA.
Yeah.
It's like,
Justin Thomas can't press the bar up. Like, he probably can't get 45 pounds up.
Ooh, are you shaming Justin Thomas?
He's scrawny. He's scrawny. And I mean, I'm on the other end of the spectrum. Like, Lululemon's not built for people like me.
No, dude, you're way too thick for joggers.
Actually, though, this is Lululemon. This hoodie's Lulu.
Did you do that on purpose?
I didn't. I kind of thought about it after when I was driving down, but it was unintentional. I still look good, but their pants definitely not built for my body type. So but Justin Thomas,
your thighs are screaming in Lulu.
Oh
pants.
yeah, they're just rubbing together, just creating so much friction. But yeah, the Lululemon thing, like, props to JR. He looks good in the joggers, especially with the high top Jordans. If you go joggers low tops, that's a no-go. You can't do it, especially golf shoes wise. But yeah, for me, I was out on the joggers before they were even in. So that's my thing. That's a hill I'm willing to die on.
So why don't we get into some NIL deals that we would like to sign? Why don't you start us off with...
Should we have any rules here? Like,
no, other than unless we can't say it.
Well, no, we're not going like there. I'm talking about just
like, you don't want to have an NIL deal
like
with
one restaurant, one like clothing deal, and one miscellaneous. Do you like that?
Okay, so La Boheme doesn't fit in either of these.
What is that? What the?
It's a nice club down in Denver. Shotgun Willie's also doesn't.
Okay, okay, yeah, I've never heard of that. Are you sure that's how you pronounce Boheme?
La Boheme. I'm not French, so I don't know.
Is that French?
I would imagine La. La is the.
In French?
Yeah. Can we get a definition for La Boheme?
Do you think
Boheme? What does that mean?
Boheme?
Like I said, I'm not French. I don't know.
I'm not even sure it's French.
I drive by it every day. I know it's
La
there.
Boheme is a opera in 4 acts.
Oh wow.
A what?
An opera in 4 acts.
What's 4 acts?
That's Twitter. That's how it spelled it.
4 acts. ACTS.
Oh, I see. So it's like a performance.
Yeah.
So it's just a play on words.
Yeah.
And the girls out there are performing. They're
100%.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Grinding.
They're working their tails off. But okay, yes, that's out.
Okay, so
Strip clubs out. Let's keep it restaurant.
Okay.
Food. Restaurant food. You can tell what I'm thinking about. Clothing deal. Miscellaneous.
All right, you start us off. Restaurant.
I don't know where this is gonna fall, and we also have to preface it with like what we expect out of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
For a restaurant, I'd probably go Chick-fil-A. Like, imagine the power you would feel having an unlimited Chick-fil-A card in your wallet.
I'm not sure there's anything more powerful on this planet, except for on Sundays. You're fucking
I was gonna
starving.
say you'd be God, other than Sundays when you can't get free food.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be like the most electric power move for me. Would be driving through the Chick-fil-A drive-through, just handing them that card, not paying $1. I would turn into a chicken. Like I'm kind of a chicken, but I would be a chicken, like a thick fucking chicken.
Like a chicken that's been on plenty of steroids.
I'd be like Winnie the Pooh mixed with a large chicken because I'd put honey on everything. I love honey. I love their biscuits. I love their chicken, their Diet Coke. If you had to pick between McDonald's soda or Chick-fil-A soda, gun to your head.
Chick-fil-A diet lemonade is the best thing I've ever drank.
I think it's the ice. Isn't it the
crunchy ice?
The little cylinders?
I always go light ice.
Well, all ice is crunchy, idiot.
Well, but you don't fucking take a giant ice cube out and crunch on it. That's what dogs do. My dog does that.
I think if you're calcium deficient, you shouldn't be feeding your dog ice. I feel like that's harmful.
Calcium, ice doesn't have, it's water.
But if you chew on it, have you ever heard of that? What is anemic?
It actually will tear your teeth apart if you chew on too much ice.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm a bad dog parent.
Yeah, exactly. You're ruining your dog's
But he fucking
mouth.
runs to the fridge every time I start.
Yeah, every
some
time
ice.
I see Reese's cups, I run to the fridge. That doesn't mean I should get one. Good God. I mean, there is calories in Reese's. There isn't in ice. So.
Yeah. See, ice is.
But iron. Did I say? Yeah.
Okay.
So
But I might have anemia.
I do love chewing on ice. I think I just have like an oral fixation with, like, I mean, we'll get into the Zyn deal. I feel like that should just be without question. Like,
Yeah, if we could sign one NIL deal, it would be Zyn 100%.
Yeah.
There's one thing that is
if
constant
they wanted
in my
like a
life every single
team,
day.
if they wanted a team of 2 washed up golfers to promote their product, we'd be their guys.
To like stack cans, like the army of Zimbabwe. Shout out.
I'm
RK
Tucker
for
Carlson.
that. You're Tucker Carlson. I'm Nathan McKinson, and we're just stacking cans. That would be the absolute best NIL
I could
deal.
build a house with the amount of Kansas Zins I
Oh,
bought.
dude, I've already built like a backyard fort.
You could build your dog a house
I've bought
to give him ice in.
with the Zyn points. I've already bought an espresso. I've also
So
bought
technically, you kind of almost have an NIL deal with them.
I
Like you're
bought a
getting free
poker
shit
table.
from Zyn. That poker table sucks.
well,
It's already broken.
It's down to 3 legs,
and it's
but
in my garage.
If you put it on a
Which isn't
if you put it
bullshit.
on a trash can, it's fine. The top is nice.
The top's fine. Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
felt
now
on
I'm
cardboard.
grinding for a Zyn light up sign.
Spencer, this is Spencer's version of grinding.
I stash codes, dude. I stack codes.
I know.
And I enter them, and it's great. But,
okay, let's get off the Zen topic. But yes, that would be our ultimate. Well, that goes without question. Okay, so
going back to my restaurant,
yeah,
it's kind of lame, but it's something I truly feel like I could eat every day, and it's like Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's is like something that I could go to lunch there every
You're like
single
allergic
day.
to gluten and cheese. That's
But
like
they have
3/4 of their food.
They have the lettuce wrapped
Are
Italian.
you just going to eat
lettuce
cold
wrapped
cuts?
Lettuce wrapped Italian.
Okay.
Dude, I was a big Subway guy my whole life, as you know.
I don't mind Subway.
Until I kind of stopped eating bread, but they don't have any like non-bread options. So
I would
Subway's
definitely
fucking out.
if I could pick a 1B, it'd probably be Chipotle.
Chipotle is a great choice.
Yeah,
but
like,
Chipotle, I kind of get sick of after like it's all the same ingredients.
I could eat like steak and chicken and rice every day. Throw corn in there and cilantro. Fucking A.
Yeah.
That I'm off to the races.
But Jimmy John's, I literally
sour cream and cheese, like come on.
See, I'm out on that. I can't do that. So Jimmy John's,
I'm in enough for the both of us.
The lettuce wrapped Jimmy John's Italian, I could eat that every single day for lunch and probably never get tired of it.
Your meal prep is just like 40 Jimmy John's stacked up in the fridge.
I would love that if they just sent me and I could wear the little like Jimmy John's hat.
John's logo is kind of fire. Honestly, Jersey Mike's would be pretty sick too.
You'd actually kind of look like Happy Gilmore with the Subway sponsor.
That's very Happy Gilmore. I would agree.
Which fits my golf game, really.
It really does. He putts better than you do, though.
Oh, that's probably true.
Even with a hockey stick. So, yeah, I don't hate the Jimmy John's. Like Jersey Mike's. There's so many options. But what if you could pick like a high end restaurant? Like, so now we've kind of touched on the fast food. Let's go other restaurant. Sit down.
Well, if I go to something that I can eat, it would be like semi-chain, but like a Del Frisco's.
That's kind of like the Lifetime Fitness of luxury restaurants. Like they're all over, but they're still good.
Exactly. I could eat a steak every night. I could eat Jimmy John's every day for lunch, and I could eat a steak every night for dinner.
That's fair. Ocean Prime. There's a lot of those.
Yeah, but what do you get with that? Like, do you just get to eat for free every time? Like, if they sign an NIL deal with you, like...
Yeah, I think so. How fire would that be?
It would be incredible. I could just go Jimmy John's lunch, Del Frisco's, just have a standing resi.
Yeah.
Every night.
Just a Manhattan sitting on my table for me right when I get in. No, just like I like it.
Just like I like it.
But yeah, okay.
Light ice.
What?
Shut the fuck up. All right. So... Going clothing. Give me your clothing company.
That's so tough for me because I'm just built so... I'm like a fucking propane tank with arms. That's how I'm built. So I can't... Like I said, Lululemon, I like Lululemon a lot for people that weigh 80 pounds less than me. So that's out. If we're all encompassing, Puma is right up there for me. I think Puma is awesome. Oh God, I don't. Polo.
That was mine. So
yeah, Polo.
Definitely Polo because I feel like they do have some comfy stuff.
The only tough thing is like if we're talking shoes here too, or are we just talking strictly clothing?
We'll just go strictly clothing, yeah. Because if you have to encompass everything, Puma would easily be it for me.
Yeah,
and I already have a deal with them. No big deal.
Oh, not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
It isn't really a big deal. It's just $2,000 worth of free shit every year.
Yeah, but
which is better than nothing for being bad at golf.
for being who you are. That's
for who you are. You
run.
Far exceeded expectations. But yeah, Puma's definitely up there. If I had to pick just like casual clothing, that would be pretty hard.
Well, see, that's what Polo I think.
I'd probably go Tommy Bahama. I'm built like a dude that should be in a Hawaiian shirt at all times.
Right, like an Andy Reid type.
I'm not that thick, dude. Jesus, like give me 30 years before I turn into that. But yeah, Tommy Bahama's got the most comfortable shit. Their t-shirts are fire. Their golf shirts are super comfortable. Just everything they make is super comfortable, and it always just smells so good. Like I have 2 separate Tommy Bahama colognes. Both are fire. One's for like winter, one's for summer. One's a little bit lighter the summer, like, a little more fragrant. The other one's a little bit darker and like oakier, deeper. I don't even know how to explain it, but they just put out a good product across the board. I'm not one. Sorry to cut you off. One thing, another hill I'm dying on. I will never wear flip flops.
No,
Nope. Not yeah. Like I don't care where I am.
well, and that's actually my fairway or fore, which we'll get into in a sec.
If my feet were burning off in the Sahara Desert and somebody offered me flip flops, I'd rather have my feet fall off.
Yeah, 100%. So that is my fairway or fore. But real quick, I would be polo because like I wear polo sleeping shorts every night. They're the most comfortable thing. They have regular T-shirts with the little logo. I have the logo on my chest tattooed. Embarrassing to say, but it's just.
How old were you when you did that?
Like 19.
Yeah.
But
Dumbass.
they're pretty versatile. They got jeans. They've got some shoes which aren't great. They've got hats. They've got bucket hats. They've got like I feel like if I just wanted to have a full wardrobe.
And they also have some pretty good like winter like puffer jackets.
Yeah, they're a super versatile clothing company, and I'm not as in on them as I used to be. I used to be that's like the only stuff I ever wore. But now I think I'm moving into a point where I'm like getting in my life where I like what I like, and I do only wear polo socks. That is a fact.
Okay.
But like Duluth Trading Company underwear, that's the only underwear I wear.
I only wear Tommy John.
Okay.
I don't want to plug them.
Yeah, but once you get like you
just
like
find
what you like.
Yeah, we're just creatures of habit.
We're just old.
Once we're just
We're
old.
getting old, and
I just buy the same shit over and over.
yeah, you're like, oh, it got dirty.
I
Oh,
go to a
it's
restaurant. I go get
ripped.
sushi. Same order every time. I'm not like let's branch out. I'm like I know I like this.
Yeah,
Let's
that's,
just.
that's the best way to go. Stay comfy.
I live in this area right here. This is where I stay in my own little bubble.
All right, so I'm moving into our fairway or fore, and
Well,
Mitchell,
wait, we got the miscellaneous.
oh,
we have one more.
Oh, okay, miscellaneous.
Just anything.
You're gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to think about this for a second.
I would have to go with. I'd be sponsored by Audi, or have an NIL deal with Audi. Like I drive an Audi. We both have driven Audis. I still drive one, and I just love Audi. Like I would love to have a new Audi every year, even if it's on a lease. Don't give a shit. Like every single year, new Audi.
I'd like to be sponsored by like American Furniture Warehouse.
What?
How awesome would that be if you could just constantly get the best furniture that you ever wanted? Like
You're saying that American Furniture Warehouse has the best furniture you've ever wanted.
okay, it's not the best. It's no Crate and Barrel. I'm not you. But I'm saying like if you were like, oh, I want a new couch today, just boom, new couch. Or they're like, hey, we'll come furnish
Think
your
about
house.
the logistics. You just gonna get a new? I guess you have always been obsessed with moving shit, like at all times. You'd probably get a new living room set once a week. So I guess that's kind of on brand for you. But that's just so weird.
Or if I went kind of on the Zen route, but like 7-Eleven. If I was sponsored by 7-Eleven, that'd be hype. You just walk in there, you grab whatever you need. I go in there probably 4 times a week, just get what I need, and I'm out.
With gas prices the way they are, fuck.
Yeah.
I just take a gas card.
Yeah, exactly.
Be like,
Conoco.
yeah,
Cool.
put that dinosaur on my shirt if that means I don't have to pay for gas.
Sinclair.
One other thing it was between Audi and like a luxury watch brand. That would be
Okay.
a flex. Like a lot of the European tour guys are sponsored by Audemars AP, and they get to go over into their factory like in Switzerland and hand make their own watches.
That's pretty
And
fire.
That's sick. And it's like $40,000-$50,000 watches.
But I'm team Apple Watch and will be till I die. Like I just can never wear a normal watch again. That doesn't tell me if I'm being texted or if I have a Twitter notification.
By the time you're like 70 and still have an Apple Watch, it'll just have like a little screen that like pops up and like projects it for you.
yeah, it's like a hologram.
Exactly. Yeah, you'd teleport through your Apple Watch. So, yeah, I think a luxury watch brand would be pretty badass too.
Yeah, also like furniture. You buy a couple and then it's
Furniture, you're fucking way off base. But
it's a personal opinion.
It doesn't mean
everyone's
it's-
allowed their own opinions. Never forget that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's wrong.
All right, into fairway or fore. You kind of stole it. You stole my thunder. But even when I went to Mexico on my honeymoon, I could not wear like anything that splits my toes. I think that's super questionable. Mostly for dudes. It's not a sexist comment. It's just if you're a dude, you got to wear like a slide or Berkeys. You know,
Berkey's, dude. One of the kids we went to high school with, posted like a family picture with his like toddler and his wife, and they all had Birkenstocks on. I was like, dude, that's too far. That's too much.
But it's better than wearing something that splits your toes. I will die on that hill. You can't catch me dead in something that when I walk, it just flips and hits my foot.
Yeah.
It's splitting my...
You'd probably have some sort of weird, like, obsession with it.
I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
So flip-flops, no go.
I read a tweet one time about Birkenstocks, and somebody's like, imagine paying $140 to look like you attended the Last Supper. So I feel like that's pretty funny.
That is pretty
pretty
good.
fucking funny. Yeah, I'm out on flip-flops for guys. No chance. Eric Tuttle is one of the only guys. He's one of my buddies, and I still disavow it, but he gets a pass. Because he'll go out in Vegas with legit, like, this is just so obscene. He'll wear a button-down and jeans and flip-flops.
Oh, no.
I'm like, dude, that is so, like, Nickelback, like 2003. Like,
yeah, that's kind of a rough look.
yeah, that's like you got one of those shirts with like the massive crosses on the back, like Affliction, and then some fucking real baggy, like huge jeans. Anywho, my Fairway or fore. Let's talk about fan bases in sports, and let's have a little discussion. Because there's a lot of shitty ones. There's a lot that I'm not a fan of. But what got me thinking was this week the Yankees were playing the Cleveland Guardians, which is funny. The Angels are clearly in a series with the Guardians, so like the Guardian Angels. I digress. But the Yankees fans out in right field were just chucking shit on the field, like talking blatant shit to the right fielder.
Miles Straw, right?
Yeah. And he got up in this dude's face. He's like, "Hit me, motherfucker!" Like, what a legendary move. Because obviously, if that dude hits him, he's gonna rip him down onto the field and probably shatter his body into pieces. But are the Yankees the worst fan base in baseball? Are they the most pompous and like in your face, just arrogant fans in baseball?
I think any like Yankees, Lakers, like any of those storied franchises that have won a ton in the past, like we're talking way old, like Cowboys. Every
Just this
professional
delusion.
sport has that delusional like, oh, we're the greatest team ever because we won 15 years ago, and then they just make it so unbearable for them, the fact that they don't win at all anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what makes it unbearable.
But do you think? I mean, they're just. Who else have you ever seen another fan base do that? I'm trying to think of the last time we saw a fan base just like throwing a bunch of shit on the field.
Oh, they do it all everywhere, dude. Philly, they throw shit on the court. Like, Philly's rough. But the thing I respect about Philly is they're so diehard Philly.
Yeah, they own it.
But Yankees fans, you don't know. Those dudes could have been from Texas, Florida.
They're wishy-washy as fuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, when it comes to that, there's a lot of soccer fans that throw things on the field. There's actually an incident where they threw a pig's head onto the field.
Really? But see, I feel like that's on brand for soccer because those fans are just like so overly passionate. Not overly passionate, just like a good type of passionate. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yankees fans are rough.
Yeah, I hate them. Hate them.
Especially since you don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what's the worst.
But Fairway or fore, bottom line, are they the worst in baseball or not?
In baseball, yes, by far.
Okay. All right. Well, that was all I got.
That's it. All right, that wraps it up for this week of Big Drive Energy. Make sure you guys are tuning in every week or Tuesdays around 4:30. We're going to go live. Of course, this will be a podcast for you as well. Make sure to check out thednvr.com. We will have that tournament up shortly. Get signed up for that because that will fill up quick. Friday, May 20th at the Valley of Fun, 9 a.m. We'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Peace.